Shalom, 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 everyone. This is Yahudia coming to you again to bring out yet another lesson from this site, yahtruth.com, elevating the consciousness in Zion. So let's get this thing started. I know that some of you all may have seen my first video with the Ice Cube leading Adolf into spiritual warfare against the Edomite serpent kingdom. I started off with that video because that was my latest article, but I'm going to backtrack a little bit and go over some things in the first video I made about him because yet again it has been a kind of Ice Cube crazy day. So let's revisit these things. Ice Cube versus Beelzebub. Lion of Judah takes a stand against the Lord of the Flies. So it is really quite sickening to me to see our people go back and forth the way they are, so evil towards each other about voting between two old, wrinkled, disgusting, perverted heathens, as if one is better than the other. They're just terrible in different ways, but highly intelligent, accomplished Black people, Hebrews, unawakened Hebrews, most of them, are creating a media frenzy attacking Brother Ice Cube. And even those within the awakened Israelite community are doing the same. Now, I'm not one to vouch for this man's inner character and his greater purpose in life, but if you just look at the whole situation of what he's asking for, just certain things to reconstruct the Black community, I don't really see how um, people not saying anything is any better because most people have been pretty silent on our issues. So, why is it such a problem for someone to come and say something? So if I hear one more Negro peon tell me one more time why it's so important to vote, I just might lose my mind, honestly, because like people are just like texting from Black Lives Matter telling me to vote. I got like family members confronting me about not voting. I'm like, all these years when I was kind of like campaigning for the Democratic Party in my college days and registering everybody to vote during the Obama frenzy, everybody was telling me why, oh, voting is a waste of time and blah, 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 blah. And so now that I am actually agreeing with them that when I was passionate about politics and campaigning and all that kind of stuff, they're telling me, no, you have to vote, make your vote count. And it's really kind of hypocritical because the only reason why they saying that because they hate Trump so much, they willing to go to war with each other about this Biden freak. But you know, Biden has literally passed legislation that has affected the Black community worse than what Trump has done. Trump has just only ran his mouth here and there, or a lot, but nevertheless, he has not directly impacted the Black community directly through legislation like Biden has. So we do live in a wicked and unjust nation where we had to die for the right to vote, but that should not be. I mean, why is this country so evil that people had to die for the right to vote? And what good is this right to vote if we can't pick our candidates? I mean, like, come on, it's just really weird. Like, why don't we just get to the root of the issue? It's just like what Ice Cube is trying to do is like stomping out Black poverty, the economic disadvantage. It seems like the civil rights movement was only all about getting us the right to vote, and it's just like drifted off from there. Like, okay, once we got the right to vote, it just was like the whole they assassinated some of our leaders, and then the whole situation just like went away. you know, because a lot of the civil rights leaders started getting perks like congressional seats and, really huge mega church congregations and political power. And they just like left the black community like hanging. Like my generation didn't have no real activism going on, about the most activism we had was brothers like Ice Cube with NWA coming out with songs like F the Police. I mean, it's just ridiculous how we turn on each other so quick. And, why should we remain loyal to a political system that has never wavered from its agenda to keep our people oppressed? You know what I'm saying? Why are we falling for this pressure to uphold a delusion of a democratic Republican system? Like, there's no such thing as Democrat, there's no such thing as Republican. They're just two heads on the same demon. On the same demon. Like literally, the people that runs this world are the children of a certain demon. Now I'm gonna show you this demon. If you're on the website right now, you already seen this picture. This dude right here is the demon. Okay? Look between his legs. There's a face, right? With his tongue sticking out, old creepy self, right? And look at the face at the top. This is the creepiest thing you ever seen. This is Beelzebub, okay? This is the Lord of the Flies. This is the Lord of the Order of the Fly. Okay, these people that runs these governments. This is the deity that they operate under. Okay, that's the reason why everything they have to create duality with everything. They're two-faced demons. Okay, these Edomites and all of the heathen are operating under the spirit of Beelzebub. Okay, so I have to say Edomite and all of the heathen because not all of the non-melanated oppressors are Edomites. Some of the ruling class are mostly Edomites, and the rest of them are just like random intermixed heathen nations. And you could tell that in the DNA because they have all kinds of tribes mixed in with them. They don't have like one to two forefathers like Black Americans do. They come from like hundreds of men. Okay, so they're just like a hodgepodge of wickedness. And so back to this two-party system, it's a part of a demonic order. As you can see, the two-headed demon, Beelzebub. And so both parties are only two heads on the same demon, Beelzebub, the chief of devils, the prince of hell. So this is what we're dealing with. And that's the reason why they like to create this duality competition, because that's the kind of spirit that they operate under. Okay, why can't we just have people running for president? Why does it always have to be this one versus that, Democrat versus Republican? Because they like to create the illusion that you're getting something different, where one is like good cop, bad cop. You know what I'm saying? Both of them work for the same department, but they're pretending to approach things differently. So we have to wake up and understand that nothing in this world will ever change if the same demon remains in control from one generation to the next. So I refuse to be pressured into picking the lesser of two evils because evil is evil. I mean, understand, like, how can you, like, literally use the word evil in a more or less form? It's like an oxymoron. You can't just be more or less of evil. Evil is evil, okay? It's like, okay, is raping a baby more or less evil than blowing somebody's brains out? Because both of them are pretty bad. Okay. Is cannibalism more or less evil than blowing up a whole country? You know what I'm saying? That's what people sound like to me. They sound stupid when they use that term because to me, evil is a whole category that is in the same hodgepodge of hellish behavior. There is no less evil. Okay? That category of evil is specific. So that's just heathen word sorcery, and people push these talking points as mind control tactics, psychological mind games. These are the things that they learned. Nazi propaganda was built upon psychological warfare. Okay, mind control talking points, pushing the same rhetoric, get memorizing talking points pushed upon you from people in power. That's like witchcraft. It's almost like putting you in a trance. So let's get on with this. Mark chapter 3, verse 22 through 26. And all the scribes came down from Jerusalem and said, He has Beelzebub, and by the prince of devils he casts out devils. And he called unto them and said unto them in parables, How can Satan cast out Satan? And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but has an end. Okay? So Yahushua HaMashiach or Yahushua HaMashiach, whichever you prefer, that's an open debate. I'm open for that debate anytime. I go back and forth because both have legitimate reasons for this its pronunciation. Or you could use that other JC name. No, don't. I didn't mean to say or use that JC name. I said also known as JC. I try not to use that name because Caesar Borgia just pops up in my head every time I say that name. I'm sorry. Anyway, Yahushua HaMashiach tells us in these verses that Satan would never rise up and cast out Satan, but instead of our people heeding to this wisdom from one generation to the next, our leaders, our civil rights leaders and our media leaders and our thought leaders and our professors and anybody who's important continue to push the narrative that we can vote our ways out of oppression. Oh, if we just vote one more time, if we find the perfect massa to treat us like good little niggas, and it surely Massa Biden, he'll be a better massa for us, okay? Because Massa Trump, he mean though, he mean, he don't like a niggas like Massa Biden, Massa Biden come clean this whole thing up with this coronavirus. And you are stupid if you love Massa Trump if you don't vote for Massa Biden. That's what people sound like to me when they talk about this thing. And I mean, I hate to like get into the whole like old slave talk and like to diminish our people like that, but that's exactly what people sound like when they talk to me about this. It's a complete joke. The white supremacist agenda is designed to uphold and defend itself by any means necessary, okay? As a result, there will never come a day without divine intervention of Yahuwah where we will receive full recompense or reparations for what is done to us. Okay? These heathens have been working on this project of white supremacy for thousands of years. Okay? They have failed many times. Many empires have risen up and tried to push this agenda of white supremacy, but this is the first time that it has succeeded on this scale. The only other time when they almost achieved complete white supremacy was during the Roman Empire, and that only lasted a few hundred years if you look at history, and it was only a small region. Southern Europe, Northern Africa, and the Middle East, and parts of like India a little bit. So that little circle right there, that's as far as white supremacy has ever gotten. White supremacy has gone viral, okay? In every stinking country on this planet, there is no place you can escape where the hand of white supremacy has not affected the civilization. Even on the continent of Africa is the number one place in the world for bleaching cream sales. Okay? So the psychological damage of white supremacy is affecting our beautiful people over there. Now, apart from that, white supremacy, even though those countries in Africa, it has black looking people running those like offices, they have been pretty completely infiltrated by um, blind leadership on white supremacy. They're heavily influenced by European banks in a lot of their policies, and a lot of them receive Europeanized Western education. So they've made their connections in white supremacy to even get into power, okay? So they are black faces of white supremacy. Most, not all, but most of the leaders in Africa. So, like, it's not even nowhere you can go. Okay, you definitely can't go to the Caribbean. That's white supremacy, hands down. Like our people don't own anything completely free from white supremacy. You know what I mean? So you gotta understand, these heathens are not gonna reach the peak of white supremacy and just hand over their spoils. Do you know how much money we're talking about? I'm like talking about $20 trillion. These heathens, even if they get their hands on $20 trillion, which I mean, with a click of a button, they just created out of thin air. That's what's so crazy about this thing. But even if they created $20 trillion out of thin air at the Fed, they're not going to divide all that money amongst the black community. Okay? So get it out your head and understand that the Most High is going to have to force their hand. Pray. Voting is not going to change that. So like I said, they've gained power over the course of generations through the summoning of demonic spirits, who at times they were deceived into believing were angelic beings. That's what's so funny about them. Like a lot of them didn't even know they was worshiping the devil like that. Like they actually thought they was talking to real angels, and that's why the scriptures say that we have inherited lies. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these people did not even really know what they were doing when they did it. A lot of common people played a role in influencing the elite into Satanism. And we're going to get into that towards the end, okay? So they summoned demonic spirits who at times they were deceived into believing were angelic beings. And through their persistent efforts, they've built Mystery Babylon up to world dominance as prophesied. So this is a little meme that's kind of circulated on the internet. When that guy got the Pence got the fly on his head in the middle of the debate, the whole woke community went ham. So so through their demonic alliance with Beelzebub, these heathen nations stay on code when it comes to the white supremacy agenda. So I would say Beelzebub's religion is white supremacy because he operates under the heathen regime. Okay, now if you remember my last video, I touched on the definition of heathen in ancient Hebrew, and it basically means swarm of locusts, a swarm of some type of animal. So when you think about it, so many scriptures talking about sending flies and bees and stuff, and they chased us like bees. So it paints a picture, two pictures of heathen. A heathen is a swarm of insects, such as flies. So that's why he's called the Lord of the Flies, right? And then another thing that the word heathen also means backside or tail end, which basically they're trying to say very, nicely, buttholes, a-holes. So they're saying these a-holes that are swarming and consuming everything like locusts and a bunch of flies. Because you think about it, flies prey upon the dead and decaying or leaving anything, even like not just dead things. You leave a piece of fruit, fresh fruit laying out. You over here manifesting the fruits of a spirit, and here comes a heathen questioning your identity, like Vocab Malone started nonsense. So yeah, he's definitely operating under the influence of Beelzebub because he's acting in his nature as a heathen. You can see you leave anything laying out at a picnic or anything. Here comes the fly, the Lord of the Flies, landing on it, crapping all over it. And that's the reason why I don't converse with heathens, especially about these things. I don't even like asking where's the what I'm saying, toilet paper in the store. I don't even like them speaking to me because they are of this spirit, this two-faced demon, and their smiles, I see right through it in the spirit. That even when they smile, you see that smile between his legs? That's what I see when they smile at me. But the demon is what's behind that smile. So that's what kind of get our people tripped up because white people are like really good at playing innocent. Like if you come across a Becky at work and she's all twinkly eyed and want to have lunch with you, but she never invites you to her home, but she always want to stick up on you all the time, she's probably being nosy. Okay, and if you do find a Becky that wants to be your friend, it's probably because she dates black guys and she wants you to introduce her to black guys, which I got that a lot in college. The only white friends I ever had was Caucasian girls that was chasing black boys. No regular Becky with a boyfriend of Josh was trying to hang out with a sister like me. So, and I quickly found out that those friendships were really fake. Once they saw that once they fall out with whatever guy they're chasing, they pretty much, don't want nothing to do with me. So So this entire nation was founded upon Kabbalah, Rosicrucian, and Freemasonic sorcery, Enochian magic, and spiritual alchemy, and amalgamation of other types of witchcraft, which was designed to keep our people in darkness, in the darkness of confusion. Not only about their true identity as Israelites, but also about the wicked and organized agenda to continue the oppression of our people in order for these heathens to maintain world dominance. They have gained power over the course of generations through the summoning of demonic spirits, who at times they believe were angelic beings, and through persistent efforts, they've built Mystery Babylon up to world dominance as prophesied. All right. So, through their demonic alliance with Beelzebub, these heathen nations stay on code when it comes to the white supremacy agenda, which is why they've lasted as long as they have. Okay. So Beelzebub, the Lord of the white supremacist heathen. So now wait, before you jump the gun and say, all white people are racist, that's a stereotype. There's different brands of racism. Okay. Even I've not literally never met not one of them that don't show their true colors eventually. Even the ones that have married into black families. There will come a topic that they would come across that they would get very uncomfortable and start showing their true colors. Okay. Uh, it goes without saying. And the thing about it is that it's not that they can disappoint me when they do that. It's just that a lot of our people are blinded due to these types of alliances because they are easily deceived and naive. Okay. If you never know anything true about history and you come into this earth, right? And your parents don't know anything, it keeps your whole um, demographic, so to speak, in a childlike state. And that's what is happening to the black people because we are culturally immature as in blacks all, I mean, even in Africa, a lot of them don't know this history. So I'm just saying Negroes in general are culturally immature because we do not know anything about the history of our enemy. Okay. We just know they were just some white folks that just showed up one day and sent us into slavery. We don't know nothing but what they teach us in school and what we see in movies. Okay. And all of that is all glorified history that paint them as some kind of hero. No, they don't show the eating babies and eating each other and all that kind of stuff and the cannibalism and the sexual, and they don't show all of that. So when we come across people and they have a smile on their face, we just automatically assume they're good people. No. So how many white people in positions of power are fighting against their own people, like literally fighting against their own people about systemic racism? Now I'm not talking about these paid agents on these protests, and they're probably like that stuff going up in Philadelphia is probably like half of them people are probably paid protesters. And I'm starting to think, well, not starting to think, I've always felt that these cops do these execution style murders as almost to martyr themselves career wise, because I've discovered a lot of white supremacist website like dailystormer.com. If you go on there, you will see kind of like the white supremacist agenda playing out. Now they can't be quite as bold as they used to be because some of those websites have gotten shut down over the last year. But however, if you go on there, you will see kind of like how evil they are, and they also hide out on BitChute. Just type in nigger on BitChute, you will find so many articles and videos about by white supremacists. So the hate is out there. Okay, you just gotta look for it because they're not gonna just walk around with Ku Klux Klan t-shirts. You gotta kind of look and see what they're talking about. There's a guy who was a part of the Proud Boys, I believe, that Donald Trump gave a shout out to. And they were like, oh no, this guy, he's not racist. And you go on YouTube and you see all these videos where he's doing all these little nice kind of talking and sounding like Mr. Nice Guy. No, that's the fake side of him because he's the two-headed demon. If you go to his real videos, he put the nice stuff out there to keep the heat off his group and organization. But if you find his real video clips, and they quickly scrub those from the internet. As soon as I see one pop up, they disappear. And I guess he has like these private podcasts or these private Zoom meetings where he do this stuff because he don't have it really openly posted on the internet. But every now and then a clip leaks out. And I saw this video. He was like, "You gotta kill. You gotta kill. I mean, just kill as soon as you see him, shoot him." And then it's just like, "Oh my God!" And his face was all red, and he looked like a demon. And then I'm telling you, if you look this guy up, his name is McInnes, something McInnes. Anyway, McInnes, like McInnes. You look this guy up, all his YouTube videos with that he's been interviewed with people, he looks like an angel. I'm not racist, I'm it's just these people are really lying on me. It's all propaganda. I'm just really a nice guy. And he really has like this Gavin McInnes, GAVINMCINNES. Look this guy up. He is a two-faced demon. I've seen two opposite types of videos for him. I've seen his radicalized, crazy white supremacist kill everybody video, and I've seen his "I'm Mr. Nice Guy." Yeah, I go to hang out with my black friends all the time. There's black people in my organization. Let me tell you something. Black people better stop running up behind these heathens because they have been killing their own friends. Okay, that's been going on a lot this year. Black people hanging out with a bunch of white people getting hung up and strung up. Okay, so let's move on. I don't want to ramble too much. So you can't just attack your own people when they try to protect themselves. Our people have to identify who their enemies are in order to win this war. All right. So, they may placate us with a small, meaningless gestures and words. They'll like, "Oh, yeah, I believe in helping black people." They don't ever do it. Because at the end of the day, most of them remain conveniently silent on racial issues. And that's what a lot of your white friends are probably doing right now. They're just not going to bring it up, and they're not going to talk to you about it. It makes them uncomfortable. If you love us, you would do something about it, though, right? Okay, so like Ice Cube said, folks say we can't take another 4 years of this, but black people can take anything. SHIT, That's what he said in the video. And that's what I'm saying. Like, what do you mean we can't take another 4 years of Trump? I mean, let me tell you something. We could take it. Look at all we have taken. You know what I'm saying? And we've been putting up with anti-black racism for countless of generations, regardless of who's been in office, including Obama, who was merely a black face for white supremacy. So this is a interview that Ice Cube did. How many minutes is this? About 7 minutes long. I'm gonna play it out for you. Okay. I'm doing this because a lot of our people have been never watching none of these interviews.
You already know how I get down. Over the last few months, I've been really going deep into this political space. You know, reading a lot of history, trying to understand
Waking
how
up to the
systems
truth.
work, not getting caught up in anybody's rhetoric, but looking for my damn self, and just trying to figure out why we continue to, flounder at the bottom. What is it? And what I found is that it's systems in place, as we all know. It ain't because, we ain't doing what we supposed to do as black people, because, of course, we all can do better. There's shit that we need to do to clean up ourselves and our community. But besides that shit, the system is fucked up. It's just designed totally. And not only designed, but there's a dedication to keeping us at the bottom of this country. And I don't know if we can count on any parties to get us out the shit, to be honest. So we are going to have to do a lot of things different. as a black community. Um, we have to pool our resources. We have to think about ourselves. You know, we love all the other races of the world, but at some point we got to figure out how do we get ahead because everybody's on top of us but us, or everybody's on top of us. And shit ain't gonna work. We ain't gonna survive this the way it's going. It's just designed that I can't see the future. So we gotta change this shit. Um, Everybody's been mad at me because I haven't been on the fucking, you know, the gravy
Excuse the
train
language.
of these candidates, you know, especially Joe Biden and Harris. You know, I don't, I don't trust none of them. No president has done right by us, so I don't trust none of them. So putting our hopes and dreams behind any of them just don't work. We gotta make them do what we want them to do, and there's only a few ways to do that. Now I've been making contacts, trying to talk about these real issues. Um, straight up, I believe the Democrats they've been nice. They've been cordial, so to speak. I don't really see them pushing their policies in any different direction. They're still talking this minority, people of color shit that don't necessarily include us, that don't necessarily include Black Americans, especially descendants of slaves, um, ADOS, American descendants of slaves. That ain't specifically us. It's everybody. We ain't gonna get shit because when you look around, everybody hates us. So we still at the bottom of that. I think the Democrats, they got every black celebrity and shit on their team, so they just figured, tell kids shut the fuck up and vote. And so I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna push the program. We got a program. I'm pushing it on everybody. Um, we also met with the Republicans and shit. They brought us in. We talked to them. Um, they've moved their agenda a lot because of what we said. Um, you know, put $500 billion on the table. But who knows? Who knows what's gonna really happen? I just know one of them gonna win, and I don't know if it can really matter to us. We gotta just push whoever is in there because ain't nobody really solved our problems. Um, you know, People say we can't take another 4 years of this. Black people, we can take anything. Shit. Um, Joe Biden, the Democrats, I believe they owe us. Uh, will they do right by us at the end of the day? Who knows? Um, I think the plan they have is they're doing a lot when it comes to safety and police and all this shit, but that dough is thin. Everybody money is thin. We're not gonna get no respect in this country without the cash. We ain't gonna get no respect in this country without having money in our community. It just ain't gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. So everybody could be mad at me, pissed off at me. I don't give. Hey, y'all know what it is. I'm trying to get to the truth. I ain't about to be part of nobody program. Ain't nobody gonna, you know, get me to back down. And if y'all don't want to hear the truth, then it's kind of a personal problem. Because I'm gonna keep spitting it how I see it. And I think the problem is we're a little too one-sided, and we need to hold everybody to the fire and make sure everybody do what they're supposed to do when it comes to black people. Not get caught up in a whole lot of white people business. We need to worry about our own, what's going on with us. And then when we get what we got to get, then we'll welcome everybody. But we got to make a decision, and we got to push people to do something big, and do it right now.
Okay, so he he has had a lot to say over the last few months, but it's not just really about Ice Cube. I would say that a lot of people have at least attempted to speak the truth in the mainstream. And it's worth a shot. A lot of them have backed down after the media assassins came after them. But it's just really fulfilling prophecy, that the sons of the Most High are going to start just rising up. Those lions of Judah is going to start roaring at the eagle. And that's what's going on right now. These black men are just kind of sick and tired of what they see, and they speaking on it. Just because somebody has made a little change in the mainstream, even though most of them are compromised, they're still human beings that have opinions that kind of leak out sometimes. Brother Ice Cube, I mean, he's always been outspoken. He said he made a lot of songs and statements throughout the years. I'm not shocked about that. Or even Brother Nick Cannon, although he's misguided and weak, he still spoke from the heart on things until he was attacked. So it's showing you that it's in the ruach to know that the way things are in this country isn't right. And these are brothers that like have no financial problems to worry about. So if you're getting paid and you're still feeling the sting of white supremacy, it's pretty bad. And I'll say this, like, the higher you go up, the more stronger grip white supremacy have upon you, because they know how well, ideally you shouldn't love your money this much, but they know how much some people love success and money. And once they know that they have you like that, you'll do pretty much anything to keep it. That's why it's not good to like be so ambitious that you'll sell your soul. And most of them are sold out. Not sure about Ice Cube. Um, it seems as though if he is sold out, he must be sold out in a way that's a little less compromising, because although he does run his own businesses and whatnot, he does have white partners, but he must have his hand in the cookie jar that belongs to them, and they're just kind of like, he's Batman and they're Robin. So even though it's kind of like he is around white supremacy, he has a higher seat at the table. And you have to keep an upper hand on the heathens, even if you're in a compromised position. So, you know, his backlash don't hurt like Nick Cannon's backlash, where he just instantly got the plug pulled on his career with just one network. And when you operate as a partner or business partner with heathens, you do have a better, bargaining chip. When you're just an employee, you better you're gonna just stay compromised. So anyway, Ice Cube, who cares? Because I don't really care about celebrity gossip and stuff like that. I just think it's interesting to see him just wake up to the truth. I mean, not wake up to the truth, because I'm pretty sure he's been woke for a long time. But as far as posting the information and stuff he does on his Twitter page, I've found that quite interesting. So these brothers are fulfilling prophecies like the following. Uh, Second Esdras or four Esdras, chapter 12, verse 31 to 32. And the lion whom you saw rising up out of the wood, roaring and speaking to the eagle, and rebuking her for her unrighteousness, and with all of the words which you have heard, this is the anointed which El Elyon has kept for them and for their wickedness until the end. Okay, so these brothers come, like, first of all, not just these brothers in the mainstream, like, it's got to be quite devastating as a heathen to monitor all these Facebook and social media accounts where we're just like people like us or people like me are just 24/7 going in on them. And they could easily, I mean, like, you understand, they must want to hear what we have to say because they could easily just wipe the internet clean of all of us. I mean, we have our usernames have Yasharala this and Yisrael that. They could just do a clean sweep and just delete everybody and ban them, and then like and block our IP address. You know what I'm saying? But they a small part of them they might do like a little a 3 day block, a 30-day block, but deep down inside they are so fascinated they can't help but watch. You know, because they got that COINTELPRO spirit, you know, because they've been waiting on the rise of the Black Messiah. That's what the COINTELPRO project was all about. The rise of a Black man that's going to lead the people out of mental bondage. But instead of it being a single man, it was the spirit of Yahushua flowing through all of us. That spirit of that word of truth, okay? He is returning in a way that they didn't imagine, rebuking the eagle, not just one male figure as it was before, but all of us being transformed into Hamashiach type beings, where we are seeing what is true and we're speaking on what is true, no matter how uncomfortable it makes you. And that's the way we are to stay regardless. So the rest of this verse it says, "He shall reprove them and upbraid them with their cruelty." So 24/7, that's all you see is conscious Black people upbraiding the eagle. Okay, so honestly speaking, we're not supposed to have other nations ruling over us, especially those of heathen nations with a history of ancestral hatred for our people. Therefore, since our circumstances have been ignored by the white majority for 4 centuries in this country, what do we look like being honored to participate in their political theater? It's just satire, really. And the joke is on us because, like Ice Cube said, most candidates completely ignore the issues going on in our community. Black celebrities are the number one tools used to push the delusion of voting, but Ice Cube refuses to be a political puppet to influence his people. We must weaponize our voting power, including withholding our votes, since they refuse to present us with viable candidates. So this election cycle is a huge insult to my intelligence, and there's no way I am going along with this wickedness any longer. We are not supposed to be voting anyway, and the Most High is supposed to set our rulers over us from amongst our own kindred, not a bunch of fake heathens looking to further our affliction. So Deuteronomy 17:15, it says, "You shall anywise set him king over you, whom Yahuwah Eloheka shall choose." So you're supposed to only set what the Most High has chose for you. Okay, one from amongst your brethren shall you set king over you. So this person that you set over you is supposed to be amongst your own kind, amongst your own brethren, your own tribe, your own family line. Okay, you may not set a stranger over you, which is not of your brother, not your brother. So, like, honestly, voting is against my spiritual beliefs. It is not something that I'm supposed to engage into, and neither should anyone who is trying to please the Most High. So the Most High knew in his infinite wisdom the evil nature of mankind, and in order for his people to ever be ruled fairly, they would have to be ruled by their own righteous brethren, selected by Yah, not elected by voting. We lost this right when we lost our land due to our own disobedience. But if we diligently seek repentance, the Most High will deliver us from our oppressor once and for all. We must get on code for this to happen. And we're only going to get in code when we all are operating in the same ruach. You know, debating one another and going back and forth ain't going to, it's not going to change nobody's ruach. So that's why I don't really like wasting my time talking about complicated things with people, because it is a waste of time. The transformation of the ruach is something spiritual. You not don't have the power to change somebody's ruach. That comes from another dimension, the spirit realm, and it's a gift given to the Most High. So the Most High has given these people strong delusion that they believe a lie. You're not going to be able to undo what the Most High has done. Some of our people are sealed to their wickedness. You understand me? They have painted a picture in their mind of Egypt that they cannot erase. You can tell them all day that all this stuff, this, that, and this and that is a waste of time. They're not gonna believe you. They're just only gonna get mad at you because their minds have their conscience has been seared like a hot iron. Okay, so we can't continue to plead with people who are always going to work everything in their own favor. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to even try to plead with these heathens. You know, they have an agenda to push, and it's the same agenda that has been pushed generation after generation. They are operating under the spiritual influence of Beelzebub, the Lord of the Flies. Okay? So I love the Testament of Solomon. Um, you know, those kind of texts like that, I just read them for kind of like extra reading for your enjoyment. I don't really take new doctrine from them. I just kind of allow it to elaborate what I see in the main text. But if it contradicts something that I read in the main text, I kind of throw it out. But some things, you could tell that it was inspired because you could kind of see it kind of manifested in the real world. And this is one of those kind of passages I read a few years ago that stood out to me. So this is Beelzebub, the Lord of the Flies, chief of devils, made this statement in the Testament of Solomon. So and it says, I destroy kings, I ally myself with foreign tyrants, and my own demons I set on to men, in order that the latter may believe in them and be lost. Okay, so he sent his own demons to men who are susceptible to being delusional, okay, so that they can be lost. And the chosen servants of El and priests and faithful men I excite unto desires for wicked sin, all heresies and lawless deeds, and they obey me. So you notice a lot of times, a lot of us have a lot of church hurt because we may have been a member of churches that had a lot of scandal involved. I am one of those. And I've seen many churches go in flames over some kind of sex scandal. Okay. One of the most famous sex scandals of all time was the one that came out about my former church. Okay, that sex scandal devastated me. It shook me to the core, and that's the spirit of Beelzebub. That's what he does. He loves, if he could destroy the servants of the Most High, he knows that through that person he could destroy a lot of people, and that's exactly what happened. I kind of like fell away and got super worldly for a few years before I drifted back to the Most High, and that's the reason why he sends those spirits on to the leader. Okay, because a lot of leaders, once they get a good following, they kind of take down their guard a little bit because they're always so busy chasing the high of success and power. A lot of pride sets in, and once pride sets into your heart, you're very susceptible to Beelzebub. Once you start operating in the spirit of pride, especially spiritual pride, like when you feel like spiritually superior enough to like literally lord over people, that's when Beelzebub is gonna come and get you. Okay? And they obey me, and I bear them on to destruction, and I inspire men to destruction, and I inspire men to envy. A lot of envy involved with Beelzebub, and the desire for murder and wars and sodomy. A lot of sodomy in a lot of these leaders out here, and other evil things, and I will destroy the world. So through sexual perversions and wars and sodomy, which is also sexual perversions, heresies, lawless deeds, and wicked sins, he plans to destroy the world through destroying morality. And you're starting to see that a lot nowadays because every TV show has to have some type of super demonic immoral act. Even one TV show I was watching, it was a really good TV show until there was a scene where an actual scene or sodomite scene with an actual man turned into an actual demon and sodomized a man, and that kind of seared my conscience a little bit. And that's when I had to make a decision, like maybe I should stay away from TV a little while, because I can't really get into a show without seeing something weird. Lovecraft Country is another one of those shows that use a lot of graphic you know scenes to try to sear your conscience, and that's the only thing I didn't like about that show. So that passage, that's what Beelzebub was quoting himself, describing himself in Testament of Solomon. Testament of Solomon like describes a lot of functions of a lot of demons. That's why people like it, because they feel like they have a better understanding of the different types of demons. But anyway, so this is another picture depicting Beelzebub more as a winged creature. Okay, and it says Beelzebub and them that are with him shoot with arrows. So this is from 1678. So these heathens, they know. So here we are. European kingdoms have a long history of utilizing sorcery to gain power and dominance. The Agrippa court of the former Roman Empire were known for being necromancers and keepers of royal crypts. So they were like, worship the dead, like literally the dead. This is all under the spirit of Beelzebub, which operates through various means of influence, generation after generation. And the reason why they also call him Lord of the Flies, because flies tend to like really collect and accumulate on dead and flesh, dead and rotten flesh. And a lot of people that operate under the Beelzebub spirit is into a lot of ancestor worship and dead spirit worship and hanging out in cemeteries and stuff. So, which is what the Agrippa court did. And the Agrippa court is connected to like some of the most powerful people that walk the earth today. Okay. So, you must know who your enemies are, so you'll know how to know how useless it is to deny how and where they're getting their power. So you're not talking and conversing and debating with regular people when you have meetings like this. Like Brother Ice Cube, his gesture of speaking with those heathens, kind of, even though he is an older OG type, iconic figure, and iconic don't I don't want to use that iconic. I think that word iconic goes back into idol worship. And that's the reason why it's not good to have celebrity worship in your Ruach, because when you put a celebrity on a pedestal, you are idolizing them. But I will say this as a critique to Ice Cube, just the fact that he entertained a phone call with anybody about this kind of shows a little bit either his worldly point of view about the condition of black community or his naivety to think that he has the influence to change the order of white supremacy. We're not getting out of this like that. It's impossible to change their minds like that. But, nevertheless, um, it doesn't hurt, but it doesn't help either. We have to kind of like state there's nothing. Okay, let's say it like this. There's nothing wrong with meeting with your enemy to give him a list of demands, just so you can like tell him the rules of this war. And that's kind of like how I looked at what he did and how he looked at what he did. He looked at it like this is a condition of surrender, of white supremacy. These are the things you need to do to make this thing right. Now, how do we? Heathens are not going to follow anything unless you have a way to enforce it and to force their hand. That's what we're missing. We have the boldness. We have our agenda, but we have no way to enforce it. Only way we can enforce it is to just drop out of the whole political theater. Okay, that's the only thing we could do is just delete the black vote out of the United States of America, so they can like scramble and figure out how they're gonna get push whatever politician. Because if Democrats are guaranteed to lose after like 50 years of losing, it's gonna destroy democracy at that point. Okay, I mean it's already destroyed, but people are not gonna believe in it anymore once we stop voting, and that's the reason why it's so important for us to stop engaging. So if one side keeps winning all the time, then maybe people will get disgruntled enough to, take a stand. Okay. But, at the end of the day, that's not going to even be necessary because there is a divine plan in all of this. And it's pretty fairly soon, probably by the end of the year, things are going to like crank up to the next level in this downfall of Esau's kingdom. Okay, so Ephesians chapter 6, verse 11 through 12 is one of my favorite verses because it kind of like shows you that Paul was speaking in code about these types of people who he was very well acquainted with. And at the time, you could not write certain things directly, you had to write them indirectly. So he knew that these people in power were under the influence of demons. Okay, so when he wrote this verse, he was talking about spiritual warfare against these powers that are of satanic order, these satanic bloodlines, serpent bloodlines. Okay. So put on the whole armor of Yah that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, and spiritual wickedness in high places. So here we are. If you've watched or read anything on my website, you've seen this seal. This is the Agrippa Court seal, and on it you see a basilisk, which is a feathered serpent. And this feathered serpent is symbolized in scripture. So, this Agrippa Court, we're going to read about this family right now. So, one of the most prominent families of the former Roman Empire still exists today is the very secretive Order of the Fly under the secretive family name Agrippa. They are also known as Serpent Kings. So all major royal families in Europe form marriage alliances with this family network as well over the years. And sidebar, most of the people in the world like to project most of their animosity towards a certain family of the Roth, whatever family, you know what I mean? One of those ish people. They project most of their uh, animosity towards that being like the only family ruling the world. But well, okay, it's true, but it's not. They're just a branch of like the Agrippa court because everybody who has sought any type of power has married into this family. Okay, so these are all just branches off of this family tree. If you learn a little bit more about that Roth family, they just came into their money not even like 250 years ago, maybe like, yeah, about 230 years ago or so. And they were new money. So a lot of people did not respect them. But they were so rich that people started, these royal bloodlines started marrying into their family because they was needing to borrow money from them. So it's one and the same. So you could talk about one branch from the one of the last few generations of this family, or you could go right back to the Herodian dynasty, which is who the Agrippa court descends from. So they call themselves the Agrippa court, but they aren't known publicly at all by this name. This family helped finance European colonialism and are the original colonizers, okay? They control the Vatican, Jesuits, and most major industries, as well as the world banking system. On their seal is a feathered serpent known as the cockatrice. Now, different branches of this family tree has various forms of this serpent. So all of their seals don't look like this. This is like the main branch, like the Herodian branch. And then as through the years, some branches change their last name through like maybe the daughter marrying into another family or and something like that after like a male heir wasn't able to produce a seed or something. But it's carried on through different last names. And they don't carry last names like that. Pretty much people decide to rebrand their last names all the time in this family. So they'll look up one day and say, hey, I don't want to be a whatever anymore. I'm gonna change my name to whatever. Okay. The owner of ABC did that. Okay. I looked up and no, it was CBS. The owner of CBS family did that. They was a whatever ish mafia family. And somewhere around the 1940s, they decided that that name had been tainted too much by the original, not the original, the previous generation through their mafia activities. So they just decided to change their last name to Stone. just like that. And from there, nobody really affiliated them with that family after another generation. And they say, you just think this guy is just something stone. And I'm not going to be dropping names like that on my channel because I don't want to get flagged before I even get kicked off. But that's how they rebrand themselves. So Jeremiah 8 and 17 through 22, we have here, for behold, I will send serpents, cockatrices among you, which shall not be charmed, and they shall bite you, says Yahuwah. I mean, that's pretty straight up. Okay. Wait, hold up. I skipped something. Let me move back up. So they all major families form alliances with the Agrippa court. Oh, actually, this um yeah, on their seal, there's a feathered serpent, also known as the cockatrice. So, yeah, I'm at the right point. So, Jeremiah 8, 17 and 22 says, for behold, I will send serpents, cockatrices among you, which shall not be charmed, and they shall bite you, says Yahuwah. So they're not going to care how successful you are or like what kind of ice cube OG face you give them when you talk to them. You know what I'm saying? Ice Cube, he got that swag, like that black man confidence with that face with the eyebrows going up, like, don't try me, dog. And then it's just like, they don't care about any of that, because they have operating a spirit far more anciently evil than you can imagine. So that's what Yahuwah is warning us in this passage. And let's continue. When I would comfort myself against sorrow, my heart is faint in me. Behold, the voice of the cry of the daughter of my people because of them that dwell in a far country. So he's saying that he's going to be crying, seeing us go through this. His heart is going to be faint in him. The daughter of my people are going to be dwelling on far country. So he's looking to the future, to the future time when we're going to be in all these different nations, far away from the land. It's not going to be a local captivity where we could walk back home like Babylon and Assyria. Like this kind of captivity is just like a forever, it seems like captivity. Okay. It's not Yahuwah in Zion. See, Zion. See, now if you I did a breakdown of the name Zion, how it's connected to the house of David. So here's this passage specifically talking about us. Zion is the covenant of David's house, okay? Because he made his own separate covenant on Mount Zion. So when they talk about Zion, they're really talking about this special bloodline that was going to bring the Messiah into the world, okay? So it's not her king in her. So like, where's the king? Where's the Messiah in her? Like we were supposed to be at one with the Messiah, and we were supposed to be carrying ourselves a certain way after that encounter, and it just all fell apart and got turned into a satanic heathen Catholic religion. Like, what happened? You know what I mean? And so he's saying, why have they provoked me to anger with their graven images and their strange vanities? Like, we're about to go into the strange vanity season. A lot of our people are running around looking for their favorite, like, perfect Halloween costume. Then they say, it's going to go into the Christmas wickedness. Then it's going to go into Valentine's Day. And it's just going to roll on and on and on, all the way to culminate in Easter egg, that abomination. Easter, you know what I mean? So what I'm saying, like he feels bad and he's crying, but we stay provoking him, right? So it says the harvest is past, the summer is ended, and we are not saved. Okay, so like, look, these summers been passing for hundreds, for a couple thousand years, and we're not saved. Okay, for the for the daughter of my people, I am her. Okay, I am black. Look at her. Astonishment has taken hold on me. Is there no balm in Gilead? He's speaking for us now. Is there no physician here? Why then is not the health of the daughter of my people recovered? So you understand, this is like in this prophecy, this is the Most High having a dialogue about what's happening to his children with himself, and he's even speaking for us because he knows our ruach, he knows how we gonna feel. So I mean, when you like create these inner voices in your mind, when you like read this stuff, it just comes to life. So we have here the Agrippa court has a long history of powerful and influential wizards. And that's what we're going to talk about in part two of this video. We're going to get into the Agrippa court a lot deeper, but I want to break this lesson into two parts because it is really a lengthy lesson, and I want people to have a nice concrete stopping point so they can pick up the next time. So All right. So thank you if you've taken the time to watch this video. It's been a blessing to work with the Most High to put this thing together because as we approach these upcoming months, our people are going to need alternative sources to feed their Ruach because YouTube is not going to be it. Okay. So if you find this website and this channel, it's because you are the elect. There's a lot of noise out there in Israel. There's a lot of people to listen to. But Most High told me, said, it's not going to be a lot of people on this channel like that because I don't want everybody to hear it lest anybody was take this information and rebrand it and promote it on their channels, as you know what I'm saying, to build a name for themselves. No, this is like, this information is to help clarify things a little bit deeper for the elect, those ones that are in this awakening to please the Most High and not man. So, Most High has taken me through a very, very, very unique journey in this walk, in this life of mine. And I had no other way to share these things. I'm more of a writer than a speaker, but I know that a lot of people are not really um, like the reading. A lot of our people struggle with focus and reading. So just I like to treat my YouTube channel as a read along with me kind of channel. So go to the website when you watch these videos, and you'll hear my breakdown of every little section. If you like, come back. You know, put your notification bell on, like, share, and subscribe, and please, just take this information to heart, and just just be a light to the world, and just know that the Most High allow everything, even the most terrible things, happen to us because He has a plan. Okay, that's what I want to do. I want to just paint a clearer picture about the Master's plan. Okay, so be blessed, take care. This is Yahudia Zion, and I love you all, each and every one of you. Even though I've never met you, I feel your spirit out there, and somebody is listening to these videos that really needed some clarifications on things. And I just bless the Most High. I just thank the Most High for blessing me with whoever, even if it's just two views. Somebody out there could hear this. So all right, shalom, shalom. Stay strong, and look out for my next video. Follow my Facebook page at Yah Truth Mysteries, and the links to this article, the links to my Instagram and my Facebook pages in the description box. So be blessed.